pathway.
I got to ask, this is a tough question because you've been there. Why haven't we got on it before now?
They have had some issues, but it's never been to the extent of what it is now.
Did it all come at one time, or?
Some of it, yes. And then, of course, last week when we had the deluge of rain, not once.
And Julian's shaking no. He said no.
Twice. We got a lot of water dumped in it last week. That water's coming from someplace. Assess where it's coming from. Obviously, there's foundation issues if it's coming in through the basement. But we also had water damage to the police department, which is on the main floor.
Right.
So we have to figure out, where this stuff is coming from. Now, the pipes that leaked in Judge Ziegler's courtroom, it was condensation. The pipe leaked. It dripped into the insulation. The insulation is asbestos. And then it dripped into the ceiling tile, and that's how they determined that, yes, there's an issue there.
The city manager told me that we've been like a 20-year-old house that hadn't had any repairs.
I'd say that's a fairly accurate statement.
All right. And I want to be nice about this.
They put a Band-Aid on what they could put a Band-Aid on.
Wouldn't you be part of that?
Not the day-to-day operation of City Hall. If it requires a budget amendment, yes, that does come before council. It depends on how open the administration is and having those conversations with the members of council. But I have never been told in all my years serving on council that we had this major issue up until this past year.
Okay, all right.
Can I just say, if we do build a new building, I would really love it to be something on the level of NCI. A nice, big, beautiful building with tons of windows, tons of parking, because one of the things I've noticed about the municipal building, there's a lot of people in there and they're kind of like, some exhausted and often in a bad mood. The building has no windows except on the front. You go in there and you feel like you're in...
How are you going to pay for it, though? How are you going to pay for it?
I don't know.
Bonds.
Bonds. Well, we don't, if I'm not mistaken, we have very little, if not any, debt.
All right, but let me hear Kathy explain, because we as citizens, we don't get that.
Well, it's like when we did the school renovations. We got low-interest bonds, and they carry over like 40 years or 30 years or something like that. And we have always allocated, because our main debt is our school renovation debt.
Okay.
And we're still paying for 2 of the schools that we renovated. The mills tax was allocated or appropriated to pay the debt service for the schools. And so we're very fortunate that our mills tax exceeds what we are paying for the payments on the loans or the bonds that we secured to do those school renovations. We have more. So in past years prior to this current budget, anything that was left over after paying the school debt was appropriated for capital.